Very good morning, madam. I take great delight in inviting you to this Skoolz platform. This is an initiative called Leader Speaks from Skoolz. This is where we connect our parent community to the schools and school leadership. A very hearty welcome to you, madam.
Namaste.
I would like to introduce you to our viewers and parent community. Madam Usha Iyer is a seasoned educator with 38 years of dedicated service in the field of education. She is the director she is the director of both the Bangalore School and the Green School Bangalore. Madam has also been bestowed by the Vikasa Ratna Shiromani Award in the year 2004 for her contribution in the field of education. Ma'am, many congratulations, and we are delighted to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, how does a school in a regular day at your school go?
Regular day. Now, basically, let me introduce. Like I'm the director, as she said to you just now. Swapna was telling that I manage the Bangalore School and the Green School Bangalore. So she didn't specifically say which school day she's asking about. A preschool day starts very differently from the Green School Bangalore. A preschool day starts like in the morning when they come. They're welcomed at the gate. And we do a temperature check. Besides the point whether it was pandemic, no pandemic, we started the school in 2012 and there was no pandemic that time. But still we were doing the same way because we have been audited by a body from Singapore called the United Preschools. Because actually speaking, there is no body in Bangalore or in India per se, where they come and assess and audit a preschool. They don't do it. So you need to have your checks and balances in place. So morning they come, they are welcomed at the gate, and then they come and have a nice little kind of a mimi time playing in the sandpit, and probably opening up with all the kind of Freuble gifts which we display, that is called as the kindergarten toys. They play that, and that is kind of opening up because they come up with a different kind of a mood in the morning. And then they have a session called the circle time in the morning. And then after circle time, they have a small mini breakfast, which we give in the school. It's a complimentary meal which we give. We don't charge for that. But it's designed nutritionally. So after that, they have the literacy numeracy classes. But the preschool definitely is not like other preschools where we are addressing all 24 together. So this gets divided into two groups because we generally don't address all 24 together, 12 in each group. So an English expert handles 4 groups across. So they get divided into literacy, numeracy, cooking without fire, and the jolly phonics classes. And of course, we have Zen stretching, dance, music. So each of the classes basically are divided into 2. So you can imagine the 200 children are divided into 2. So it was not absolutely like pandemic we did this kind of social distancing or we did in groups. We have always been working like this because ours is a 14,000 square feet of a property wherein we have 200 children spaced out, and then we have outdoor activities. Everything mostly is done outdoors because we believe in the green curriculum, and then they disperse at 12 o'clock. So this is a normal day in a preschool. But in a TGSB, there is a Green School Bangalore. A normal day starts differently. They come in buses. So that's the biggest thing because they're not being dropped by the parents. In the morning when they come, they are given breakfast because again, the organic breakfast is not charged. We give a complimentary breakfast and lunch and the evening snack. So they have that in the morning. They start with a good day with the assembly, and assemblies are always very special. Each assembly is differently designed, differently done. Then the duties are there for the children because every child is like resilient. So they have their own duties in place. So they all administer the duty rather than teachers doing it. That's what we believe in. And then, of course, they disperse and they go back to the classes. But again, as I told you, we don't have a subject and division and a class divisions. So we have something like they go to a particular room and then they work in a workroom, or they work outdoors, indoors, similar way like TBS. But TGSB is designed differently because it's much bigger place. It's a 3-acre campus. So naturally, it's like we have got discussion rooms, and we got, just like you have your breakout rooms in Google and breakout rooms in Microsoft, we have breakout discussion areas in the physical areas in the Green School, which children love to work in. So we have something called a green curriculum, which they work on, like making their hands dirty in the soil. They make organic manure. So this is a part of the curriculum. So they enjoy it because it's more experiential learning. So this is the day which a child has in TGSB. And of course, it's mixed with the sports and dance, music and theater. We have an integrated curriculum. So we don't have a demarcation for subjects. Subjects are integrated with maths or English or Hindi or whatever. So there's a music across the curriculum. There's dance across the curriculum. So children really enjoy, because sports, dance, music, it's not extracurriculars. It's a part of the curriculum. So by the end of the day, of course, they have a nice organic lunch in the afternoon. And the evening they disperse before having, they have a snack and disperse. This we did in 2019 before the pandemic. Now again, we will start the same routine in 2022, but with added features of robotics and of course engineering with toys and STEAM curriculum. So we have added a lot more features, which is going to be preparing them for the 2030 education goals. And we are called as a sustainable school. So we're working towards that. So totally, it's a different kind of environment in a bigger campus as compared to the smaller campus.
Ma'am, a totally holistic 360-degree development for a child, for sure. Nutrition is addressed, a very integrated program, and an absolutely fantastic curriculum there. So the kids are equipped with a lot of skills, sports, music, everything. So what kind of events do you hold in a year, madam, where the kids can showcase all the time?
See, as I told you before, Sapna, that we don't believe in doing a theater in a manner where they come and showcase the end of the year, whereas they do showcase. There are events, which is a mega event, which happens once in a year, which happens. But theater, music, and dance being part of the curriculum, it is being showcased as part of assemblies. It's being showcased every time whenever we have smaller events, like it can be a 15th August, it can be a fundraising event, it can be a very small event, but class-wise also, they do showcase because it keeps on going. For me, theater, dance, and music has to be like a ongoing process. It can't be just one event in a year where they showcase and they forget about it. This is what generally happens in every school, but we don't believe in that. So the theater is actually a part of education. So it also happens in the classroom. Children dramatize a Shakespeare, children dramatize English. So that's where drama comes in, because it happens across the curriculum. But then again, they have this thing which happens like once in a year, which happens event is the sports. And that is like annual sports, which every school has. We do that. Although we have the mini sports agendas, like we can have a mini run, or we can have a mini basketball tournament and stuff like that. And we do have kind of skating and other things. But on a mega event, which you're talking about, is the sports and annually like other schools. That is also showcased, of course. But the parents know it, that there is a kind of a event which keeps happening across the year. So it's not 1 year they expect certain things to happen. It's like that.
So every day is important. Every day children get to showcase their learning. Fantastic,
Yes,
madam.
yes.
There is always a section of students who would not willingly participate, or would not come to the front. How is this addressed?
So see, what happens is generally, like whenever, like what are you talking about?
Some kids would either lack for confidence or lack of motivation.
Yes.
They wouldn't come to the
Absolutely.
front to participate.
Yes.
At that
They
time, how do you include that minority of section into
Yes. So it happens because, see, there are two ways of looking at it. I don't believe that there is a child who is left behind. So we have a policy called No Child Left Behind policy. So we don't have this desks and tables which is placed one behind the other. We have everything placed in such a fashion. It's called as a collaborative approach. So it's like a groups. It's in a cluster groups, the tables and chairs are placed. So there is no concept that a child will be left out, because the teacher will be a mentor. She'll go from area to area to check on what the children are doing when they're doing activity. Whereas the other way, look at some children will be slow. They'll not be able to pick up math. They won't be able to pick up certain subjects, which they're not. It's not because they're not motivated, because they don't understand it. And just put A for apple. So that is not the only way of teaching it. Probably take the apple, make the child feel, make the child touch, make the child eat. So taste, smell, touch, all kind of sense organs are involved in that. Secondly, child might be wanting to see the apple on a projector. Child might have to go on a field trip to go and pick up apples and come back. Why do we have to give a worksheet to a child and say, color the apple red and give him a red crayon? That's a wrong concept. Many of the schools do it. But we tell them, okay, these are the crayons. Just color the apple the way you perceive. A child actually was coloring the apple yellow, And I was asking the child, what did you color the apple yellow? He says, I saw golden apples. So I'm coloring the apple yellow. So I think that you should have to give the room for imagination and let that imagination grow wild. And then you will realize that children have got the potential. I really believe in this point where we say that children have 100 languages, but I don't know whether you heard about this Reggio approach. We have the Reggio approach in TBS. And we actually use this poem of Malaguzzi. And she said that children have 100 languages, but we have not tapped the 100 languages. We just tap the 2 languages of children and give them instructions. And other 98 goes absolutely unheard of or untapped. I think we need to give them the room to explore. And there are about, according to me, there are 98 concepts which can be taught across the curriculum in the kindergarten as well as the primary, but we're not letting the children explore. I'm happy with the NEP, National Education Policy, because at least many schools will be teaching the concepts and the skills. They will not only be rushing to finish the portions, which we do not do at our school.
Wonderful to know that, ma'am. The child has a space to learn, in a very progressive way, out of the box thinking, like a lot of creativity to explore their creative. But another concern that any parent would have is about the safety. Like how is the child protected? How is the privacy ensured? How is that done?
So, yeah. So as you were asking about the safety and the security of the children, it's not only the cameras which does the job, or it's not only the nannies or the teachers who do the job of taking care of the children safety, but the safety also starts, and the security and the sensitivity, it starts from the teachers, like how the children can be handled very nicely, and that's where it's very important. So the safety starts from the teacher, safety starts from the peer group. There's no bullying happen with the children. So they see, people always say we have got cameras everywhere, so children are very safe. But I feel if you are going to orient the children and saying you're all like supporting each other and there's no bullying happening, the children will feel very safe. Similarly, in the buses, when they go, they have to feel safe with the people around who are there. They have to feel safe everywhere, in the classrooms with the teachers. And some of the children have got apprehensions. They don't open up with their teachers. So if once we have the kind of a third party counseling or something like that, where they can open up and they're not being judged, so they'll feel very safe. So there are a lot of things. There's an inner safety. There is a safety which actually it's like blocks the mind, and sometimes it's a physical safety. So we need to take care of that, so that holistically the child blooms. Holistically, child opens up and talks, and he fully feel very happy. A happy child actually makes a happy school. So the quotient is not that just the curriculum or just the environment to create. It's basically to understand the requirements of children and make the children happy. So that's very important. Then the child will like to come to school every day. So that's what I feel.
Definitely, ma'am. Academically, emotionally, physically, a child is taken care of, nurtured, and given all sorts of opportunity, a very nurturing environment to grow. Ma'am, to what extent would you like a parent to participate in an academic year?
Oh, yes, because see, this is a very parent-friendly school. In fact, my TBS has grown like that. Inch to inch, it's grown like where parents have participated. In fact, we used to have something called Thursday folders. And my parents used to come there, help the admin. They used to come and put the papers in the files and used to help us to circulate. The parents have been involved with the library programs. They have to come and do storytelling. Grandmothers and mothers come to do storytelling sessions. And when there are festivals, they come and cook. The smaller campus, we have done a lot of fun activity with parents. We've done fundraising activities with parents. So they come and, help us put the stalls. And when there's a teacher's day, they've come and taken classes for us. It's not the children who take classes, but the teachers who have come and taken the classes for us. Parents who have come and taken the classes for us. So parents walking out is a norm in TBS. Even TGS, we also, because we have practically run physical class only for a year there. But I've noticed that parents can just walk in and talk to us. Yes, there are things called appointments. They have to come and take appointment and come. But sometimes they just want to walk in and say, I want to volunteer for this. We are very, very happy. During the sports day also, the parents have volunteered and being very supportive. I have a parent council as well. So the parents play a major role in uniform decisions. and decision of the any major decisions, like for example, even when I had a problem of construction, so I spoke to parent council and said, do you think that, I want the parents' contribution in such a way that, it's not a big pinch in the management's pocket. And I have wonderful set of parents, let me tell you. They all came forward to help me and say, don't worry, ma'am, we are with you. So today, whatever TGSB is, and with the Green School, we're getting so many awards, rewards, whichever we have got, I owe it to my parents. And we also have got in the parent, involvement. That was one award which we have got from one of those associations. So which we feel very happy. Like without parents, I don't think so you can ever make a school, because they are the major stakeholders along with the children. So we consider the teachers, the parents, and the children. All the three stakeholders, we consider them as very important. Then only I think we can mold the children. Otherwise, we will never be able to mold the children.
Very parent-rich community, collaborative system. Ma'am, according to you, what is that one essential thing, most important thing for a child in their growing up years?
See, a very important thing is, like, a child has to be let be a child. I mean, you let the child be a child. Don't judge him, all right? And let him be paced out in his own way, the way he wants to learn. So don't force him, and don't try to, burden him with something which he cannot achieve. And recognize his potential, his aptitude, his way of looking at it, his attitude, instead of, dumping something which is not him. And once you let the child be what he is, then you'll see that he will come out with the best things out, and the thing is also, he will also be very successful in life. So TGSP believes, and even TBS, they believe in preparing the child for life. And if you are looking at life skills to be imbibed, the decision-making skills, or the critical thinking skills, and problem-solving skills, these are the things which you need to be emphasizing on. And if you emphasize on all these things, you will see that every child has a different approach to the entire thing. Can everybody become a leader? Yes, they're the leader in their own way. So I think that you need to recognize and try to bring it out, the best potential. So probably I'm not cut off to become a academician. I want to become a cricketer. How do you identify it? So you have to identify him and probably, push him towards achieving that. So I think that the only one phrase which I try to put in, that every child is different, every child is unique. Try to recognize the uniqueness of every child. So that is very important.
Yeah, ma'am. So parents are very welcome, and collaboratively everything is going on. Ma'am, a lot of, but the children also, you told us about how the child should be,
Yes.
guided to take
Yes.
forward their passions, their interests.
Absolutely.
So is there a career guidance council or any such assistance available for?
We have in-house now, because right now we don't have a high school. So once a high school comes in a picture, probably we will tie up with some agency kind of a thing who do the career counseling, because third-party counseling is always good, because we can give a psychometric testing to kids and they will know that which side their interest flows. But I feel career guidance should not be done at the class 8th. It should be done right from grade 1. We need to have assessments done for them to find out where the interest lies. So if you know where the interest lies, and probably because we have something called social impact projects, and we've got a young entrepreneur program which runs from grade 1, and they do internship in cafeterias and in certain places in school from grade 1. My children do it. So when they do that, we also have given them this leeway. Like if you want to make something, like, children have made things, they made jewelries, they made crafts, this thing. So we tell them, if you do it in a very big way, probably we'll promote you, and you will be getting funding. So we have tied up with an entrepreneurship company, whereas they can get promoted, and it also will be sold in Amazon, and they will get a royalty. So this is how we actually can encourage the children this thing, and we also will see their interest where it lies. And through that you can make out whether they want to become a business they want to take up, or they want to take up sciences, or they want to take up this. So this is a kind of an ongoing thing from grade 1. We have a kind of a sheet wherein the teachers actually observe, and the PTMs are not generally the PTM which is held in my school. It is like a student-led conferences, and where the teachers observe and saying, hey, look, the child is very inclined towards science, and scientific experiments has got a scientific bent of mind. So when anything of that sorts happens, so that child actually will come forward to do a lot of things together. So we tell the parents and say that your child has got more inclination towards it, so keep encouraging him that so that is where the identification happens. But the career options have to be given clearly, categorically after grade 8, because the decision making power is not there grade 1 to 7, because their career options will keep changing. Today he'll say I'll become an engineer, tomorrow he'll say I'll want to become a doctor. That keeps happening because they're fascinated with something, that they want to do that. But then ultimately it's the kind of the career goals which we keep on giving them, the different kind of goals, and probably after 8 they're able to take make a good career out of it. But even though I noticed when they choose a certain kind of subjects to hone their particular career which they want to do it, but they change the career even after grade 12, I've noticed it. I mean, they would have done it and saying, oh, I'm not cut off for this, and probably I want to do something else. So I think that option is always there as a career cell which we are planning to make in our school, but that will come into picture only after 2 years, not now.
Definitely, ma'am. Many things that differentiates your school for the better from not. Ma'am, there's so much of passion in you, so much of research and everything that I can see that has gone into the whole structure of the school. How did you start your journey as an educator, ma'am? 38 years of dedicated service.
Yes, actually, maybe education was my calling. That's what I can say, because I remember when I was just 19 years old, my parents wanted me to study in the Pusa Institute and do hotel management. And I also went to Delhi to join the hotel management course. But I just came back because I was not very happy with the environment. And when I came back, my father was not here in town. He was abroad. And my mother was the only one here. And without telling her, I went and met my principal, where I graduated from in the 12th. And I told my principal, I want to work here. So she said, you don't have any degree, you are just like, a graduate, and you need to have a B.Ed and stuff like this. How you can just teach? I said, you just try me out, because I have the passion for teaching, and probably, I will do my B.Ed side by side. And I think my principal had the trust in me. I always called her as Indira Gandhi, my principal, because she also had 2 children, just like Indira Gandhi. And she was a dynamic lady. I used to watch her in the assembly and I say, I want to be like Mrs. Khanna. She was like that. She was my role model. And after that, of course, her daughter-in-law has been my role model. She was my history teacher, Chaya Khanna. So looking at these people achieving so much, and today also Ms. Chaya actually is being judged as the best principal across in CBSE schools, and she gets awards. So they are the real role models of ours. And looking at them, probably when I started my teaching career, I never thought that I'll take it up so seriously that I'll become a principal and a director and I'll keep doing things in the field of education. I never thought about it. But then, the passion comes in. The passion is very important. Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly. Give your 200%. And probably when you give your 200%, your 100% comes, So that's what I can say to people who really want to pursue teaching as a career. People have told me, oh, teaching doesn't pay you so well, doesn't have any, much this thing, career up, this thing, gradients and all that stuff. But today you cannot say that, because you got different curriculums. You got IB, you got IGCSE, you got icse, you got different. And then pay scales are also really good for teachers to take it up, So it's not the pay alone which satisfies you. It's also the kind of the inner, soul satisfaction and the professional satisfaction which you get. And especially if you love kids, this is the right profession for you.
No wonder teaching is called as a noble profession.
Yes.
Madam, you have been in a leadership position for quite some time now. So leaders do have to make quite a lot of difficult decisions now and then. So how do you make those choices? And would you like to share with us any one decision that has been difficult, but has been, good for the institution?
Yes, it's sometimes we have to make decisions, good, bad, ugly. And it might turn out to be sometimes, challenging situations. We are put in you're cornered with situations. But then when you take the decisions, and if it turns out to be right, you feel happy about it, that you've taken the decision. For example, when I was actually, I don't want to mention the names of any schools where I was doing it. So I was a principal of an international school, and it was very upcoming and very new. And I was also new to Bangalore at that time, because I was abroad for so many years. So came back and took up this challenge of doing up the school. And in 2002, I took up this leadership position. And it was 2004. What happens is when you are a leader and when you're sitting in that seat, then the people, the parents, they look upon you as the management. It's not only the leader, but you are a part of the management. So the expectations and will be very, very high. So at that time, we cannot say there was a big decision which was coming through, and that the school was shifting, to another premises, and I had to, take the decision of telling the parents that this is what's going to happen, and don't worry about things and all that stuff. And I was really cornered by the parents. I said, oh my God, I mean, the school is shifting and you didn't know about it. And it's going to be 7 kilometers away. I've taken a house next to my school, to the school. And you're telling me that suddenly, have you ever seen school shifting and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So then I had to be in that position where you need to take a decision. Yes, even I was feeling little flabbergasted. I said, should I leave the job? Because I've been cornered by these parents so badly. But then, you have to stand with your management. At this time, the leaders have to stand by the management, but on the same side, we have to not let down the parents as well. It's both the things which is very important. Then I had to take the management into confidence and tell the chairman, I said, don't worry, I'll handle this way. Then I met the parents and I told them that this is what the management has decided. And today we are in the 5-acre property, but we're going to go to a 30-acre property. Don't you think it's good for your children and good for your community and stuff like this? And if you've taken your house here, then I will definitely promise you that you're not going to incur expenditure on your buses. And I will give you free transport. It'll be a shuttle service from here to the bigger campus. So I had to give those kind of promises, which I've not even discussed with my chairman. But when I came and told him, he was okay with it. He was saying, Usha, you have taken decision. You are the principal. And right now you are the chairman because you're sitting there and taking decision for the parent community. So I'll go by your version. And we did that for continuously for 2 years. I know it was a big loss for the school as well, but we did that because the parents slowly understood that it's not possible for us to continue giving this free shuttle service for 7 kilometers. So then later on, they started paying a little bit, whatever, for the transport. But that time, it was a major decision for me, the school shifting, which was like what to do. It was like you are standing on crossroads and you cannot let your chairman on one way and your parents also. So that's where I think the leaders need to take a call, because it's a very, similarly, I had a major decision again in 2006. I had to quit the job because I had to take a sabbatical for 9 months. I had to also grow professionally. So that was a major decision again. So I told my chairman, I said, I want to go because I want to grow. I want to get out of the system because I want to do something to professionally, acclaim. And then I'll come back. There was no chance of coming back. But again, I came back to the same institution after 9 months because there was a big, huge UN crisis. You should come back. So, but I came back. But the thing is that the decisions when you make at certain point of time, when you're in a high flying career, you are doing extremely well, but certain things comes at calling, because I've seen some teachers when they are teaching and they're in the very hem of affairs, suddenly they become pregnant. They have to leave the job because they have to take care of the children. I think that time the family is a priority. That time the husband is a priority. Sometimes you are shifting. You don't do this like leaving the family and saying, no, I will work here, you work there. That doesn't happen. And that should not happen. Because that way, if I always tell them two things even to my staff today also, I said, there are two things. One is the king and the queen. I said, the king's time is your family. Queen's time is your job. Why is it so? Because I'm not putting queen down. Queen and king are equal, gender equality. We talk about, they both are equal. But why I'm putting king and queen is because both of them are equally responsible, equally important to balance the entire system, whatever you're doing. So when you're doing king's and the queen's time, I always tell them that give your family also a priority along with your job. And then you evaluate and say that which is requiring at that particular time to be pumped in air, because you have to have that vehicle going on, So this is what I tell them. Then that time say, no, I understood. I have to quit the job now to sit back and then, again resume. There are times when it's very challenging as a leader to take decisions, very small things it might be sometimes. And sometimes you need to let go. Sometimes you need to grow along with that. And sometimes you need to take the challenge and go ahead with that. But at times you don't have people to guide you. That's where it becomes very tough. I always feel that every school should have a governing body and every school should have a kind of advisory body, not just on papers. They should be advising you on a regular basis. And I'm happy with TGSB. I have an advisory body which tells me and advises me. I also have partners in my Green Ventures firm. They advise me, and I also have a governing body. In the governing body, I have teachers as well as children. So it's very important to take the entire community into cognizance when you take decisions. Then you'll not be wrong, right? And nobody will hold you responsible for it, right?
Definitely, madam. Inspiring, motivating, dynamic, and a lady who is walking a very balanced life with such grace and elegance. Madam, it's been a pleasure for me to know you for sure, and I'm sure the parent community and all of viewers would agree with that. And the school you are heading is also very progressive, inclusive, collaborative, and ahead of its time. You were temperature checking in 2019, which the
You were
rest
doing temperature checking in 2012.
there you go. The rest of the world is trying to catch up to the way you are progressing. Absolutely wonderful to know that, madam.
But one thing I want to add you, I can be talking about my achievements. I can be talking about what I've done successful. But one thing I'll tell you, nobody can be successful without a good team. I've got a wonderful team working in both the schools, whether it's TBS or whether it's TGSP. I've got Preeta Abram heading my TBS team, and she's a wonderful leader, and parents connect to her very well. And I think that she's also a role model for the parents. Similarly, I have got Manju Chakravarti, who's a school head. She manages even the admissions for my TBS. And she's again breeds deep learning. She breeds the Bloom's taxonomy, and she's a wonderful trainer for teachers. So I feel like you should have a wonderful team as well. So if you don't have a good team and there it goes, boom, whatever you want to achieve, it will never be achieved because you're not a team player, and you should never have a feeling everything has to go through me. That is not possible because you're not an autocrat. You have to be democrat. So if you're democrat, let the team decide, let the team do it, give them the freedom to do it. And then you'll see that every single teacher, everybody is also have the say and have the right to feel that this is their school. That's how the institution grows. So that's how the whole system grows in my school.
The inclusiveness and the progressiveness is not limited to the children. The teachers are also given a space to be the best, to be, quite willingly and enthusiastically be a participant in the school. Quite a many things, ma'am, that differentiates you from the non.
Yes,
wonderful
absolutely.
to know
We
that.
want to be different.
Definitely, it's there. Madam, can I have your feedback on our platform, Skoolz?
Yes, in fact, I met Kishan Murlidhar when he just started the venture. Probably he had started the venture already when I met him. And I told him, and I said, it's my pleasure to know you and the work what you do. And I said, I will register the Green School Bangalore and the Bangalore School on your portal. It's a wonderful portal because there are people who are working on different verticals and they do admissions as well. But this is one of the portals which actually emphasizes only on admissions, and they do a great job. I mean, they also have two different options for the schools, where they just want to enroll and register, and people can just pick up a form on their portal, or they also have a kind of a counseling session done and they give the leads to schools. I think it's a wonderful portal. I think more schools will definitely join them and will register them themselves, because they want to be also be known by the parent community. And I think parents will also come to know that it's a very easy way of picking up the form and easy way of knowing. And the way we go to a shopping cart and shop for our products, this is a good way of like shopping for schools and knowing your area where you got good schools around, CBSE, icse, igse, IB. According to your choice and the philosophy of the school, they can pick up a school of their choice. It's really good. It's good.
Thank you so much for such warm words, and we are definitely looking forward to a very positive partnership with you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time for being on the Leader Speak series. This is a Skoolz initiative to connect schools and the school leadership with the parent community. Ma'am, I heartily thank you for the time you've given us and all the insight and inspiration for sure, ma'am. Many people are going to be inspired.
Thank you so much.